Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy, the Insane Game Freak here, back at it again with another one. Um, and with recent news coming from the guys at Square, I thought it would be appropriate to get another individual to talk about some Kingdom Hearts related material. Introduce yourself, fine sir.
Stop dragging me into Kingdom Hearts shit.
They don't know who that is. No, I'm just lying. They probably. Well, introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. Tyrone the God 3 here. Stop dragging me into Kingdom Hearts shit.
You didn't say no, so technically it's partially your fault.
To be fair, actually, one of the Kingdom Hearts videos is on my channel. So
That's why you're included. So, for those who don't know, I guess to quickly explain what's going on, it has been announced that the Kingdom Hearts series is finally coming to PC, but not in the exact way people prefer. One, it's not on Steam. It's exclusive to the Epic Game Store. And then on top of that, the prices are pretty fucking ridiculous. Now I'm gonna put the pricing chart on screen so you guys.
I'm just
can
gonna
see
fucking say it.
No, you're gonna say it. But I'm talking about in post editing. I'll put the prices on screen. But go ahead and just tell them the prices of each of the games.
All right. So let's say you've never played Kingdom Hearts a day in your life, and somehow you've been attracted to the Disney/Final Fantasy series being advertised in one game, and you finally said, "I want to give it a shot." Well, here's what you're doing. You're paying $49.99 for Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 Remix, which includes Kingdom Hearts 1, Rechain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 2, and Birth by Sleep. Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, which includes Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, 3D Dream Drop Distance, Kingdom Hearts Fragmentary Passage, which is the short Aqua game that came before Kingdom Hearts 3, and the Union X Cross movie, not the game, just the movie. You're paying $59.99. So I just want to let you know you're paying for half a game and a 3DS game that got ported over to consoles, and you're paying $60 for that. And then you got Kingdom Hearts 3 plus the Remind DLC, which is $60. Mind you, the game has been out for damn near 2 years now. So you're paying for the full price of what the game originally was, plus the DLC. And then finally, you're paying $60 for Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, which is a rhythm game that adds very little to the story of Kingdom Hearts. And you're paying $190 for all these games together.
So, I guess my thing is a couple of issues. First off, why only the Epic Game Store when most people who play games on PC
play it on fucking Steam?
Play it on fucking Steam. That's the first problem. The second problem is, what the fuck is up with this pricing? Now, for those who don't
This is unacceptable.
Just for those who don't know, also, if you own, I think the PlayStation and Xbox both have the all-in-one packaging, which I think came out not even like maybe a year or so ago, that includes all the games, all these same games except for Melody of Memories because it wasn't out yet. And you can get this entire package for like $20. And I think now
the all-in-one package I think came out in December.
But still, my issue is that you could get the physical version for insanely less than this, and the only game you would be missing out on is Melody of Memories, which adds very little, like less than 10 minutes of cutscenes worth, and is a rhythm game.
Unless you really love Kingdom Hearts, regardless of whatever you've been given, you don't give a shit about Melody of Memory. Like, I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan, and I don't even care about Melody of Memory.
You look it up on YouTube, and right now I decided just to double check to see the all-in-one package currently is $30. So it's $10 more than when we paid for it, but it's still, and I think it's only PlayStation exclusive. So maybe I'm wrong on that one. I don't see it.
I don't see an Xbox version.
Yes, I think it's only PlayStation only. But to me, that's not even my issue. The fact that you can get every main game except for Melody of Memories in that one package, and that's including 3. I think the only thing from 3 you don't get is the Remind DLC. So you're missing the DLC for 3 and Melody
The
of
Melody
Memory
of Memories.
for $30 for a PlayStation 4, which we know a lot of people fucking own because it sold so well in these last I want to say, what is it, 7 years? No,
Yeah.
6 or 7 years the console's been out. Why in the fuck is the PC version like, what is it, almost like 230 in total, I believe.
Yeah.
If I add up all the prices, and I'm looking here
With
like,
with taxes, yeah.
yeah, and I'm just like, what? Why in the world you limit this to the Epic Game Store? Which I get it, it's exclusive content for the Epic Game Store. Well, why does it cost so fucking much? I already got to go through this one vendor to get it on PC. You could have at least made the bitch affordable, or at least compare. I would have, if you had said 60 for everything, I probably would have took that, or maybe 60 for everything, not including Melody of Memories,
Since it's new.
since it's brand new.
I'm more so confused about the inconsistency where the one mix that has more games technically costs less than the one that has less games. Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2.5 remix costs $50, but Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue only has 2 games in it, and it costs $60.
The only reason why I can think that the 2.8 one is more expensive is only because technically the prologue with Aqua technically uses the newer game engine that's in 3. That's the only thing that kind of makes sense.
But it doesn't even last that long. Like the
It-
fragmentary passage part of that section doesn't even last the full. It's like a demo. It's like you're playing a demo.
Yeah, that I mean that, and I think that's the whole point.
So you're playing a 3DS game and a demo for $60. Oh, and I'm sorry, a giant cutscene movie.
And my issue is that the 3DS game, it was $40 when it came out. So you're telling me the other 20 is the 2.8, and then the fucking cutscenes that you can look up on YouTube, for God's sakes.
Yeah, because the other one you at least get the first one, you at least get Birth by Sleep, Rechain of Memories 1 and 2. So you're at least getting 4 full games.
Also, I just realized, so I decided to look up Dream Drop Distance to see how much it is. Apparently, Dream Drop Distance goes for insane prices because it's out of print.
Yeah.
Which probably is the reason why they're somewhat justifying it. Yeah, like if I look up Dream Drop Distance, I think it's like $120 for the base version, and then $190 for like the limited edition.
What?
Let me make sure. Let me go on eBay. That's Amazon. But I swear to God, bro. Let's just make sure. I want to make sure because let's see. All right, let's go GameStop.
Yeah, I'm seeing it too. The 3DS version is costing insane prices.
Well, that's weird. So
but you can buy that all in one package at Best Buy or GameStop for $30 right now.
Yeah, like there's no reason to buy this unless you specifically want to pay the PS3 version. I mean the PC version. And granted, there's a reason why you would want to play the PC version because A, mods, and 2, that means you can run the game potentially at 60 frames or higher, which I don't believe all the main games. I don't think 3. Well, 3 doesn't keep it. I know 3 doesn't have a stable frame rate. I know that much.
Yeah.
So I guess the art. So I don't understand. I imagine this is more of an Epic thing as far as why it's on the Epic Game Store, which to me is a problem in itself. But I can kind of let it go if it was priced fairly. But you're telling me I got to spend like $50 just to play the main games, and then if I want to play 3 again, I got to pay another $60, which is an issue with digital. This kind of gets into like my issue with going all digital for consoles. Because I thought about doing that for PlayStation 4, and I did that for like the first 3 games I bought, and then I realized the drops in prices are actually worse on digital than they are physical.
Mm-hmm.
Most third-party physical games tend to go out of drop in price within like the first, I don't know, month or 2, maybe 3 months at worst. Especially third-party games like Square Enix. It's like you don't really need to buy those, but digital they'll stay 60 for a while, for an ungodly amount of time. And I guess what makes me mad out of everything else, and this is the part of the video that's kind of petty, you put this on Xbox, you put this on PlayStation, because that's obviously where the mainline series started, and you've put this thing on PC, kinda, with the whole Epic Game Store thing, and you couldn't give me a Nintendo version. And the reason why it irks me is because the two main console fan bases that have grown up on anything Kingdom Hearts related were fucking PlayStation fans first because you guys got all the main games, and you put almost every side game except for I think Birth by Sleep and like Union Cross. Everything else is on a Nintendo handheld.
Yeah, Chain of Memories originally came out on the Game Boy Advance.
We got fucking 358 days over 2.
And then 358 days, over 2 was on the Nintendo DS.
Recoded, I think, is on DS.
Recoded is on DS. And yes, I have that.
And then you got Dream Drop Distance on 3DS.
3DS, yep.
The only games we don't get is Birth by Sleep and Union Cross, because Union Cross is a fucking mobile game, and Birth by Sleep is exclusively locked. Up until this re-release of it, was exclusively locked down to the PSP for all things.
And even still, if you want to play 358 Days encoded, you need to have DS. You need to get the DS versions because I believe 358 Days. If you get it in the
you're
just watching the cutscenes. Yeah, you're not even getting the actual game itself.
So I'm sitting here in the corner and I'm just like, why ho? My first thing is obviously why ho the Steam fan, the person who buys PC games on Steam, because now I gotta go in the Epic Game Store in order to get it, and if I don't naturally use it, you've now forced me into an ecosystem I have no interest in getting into, and I have to get into just to play those games on PC. And then you hold the Nintendo fan who has actively supported the majority of your side games,
right?
And it irks me because Square keeps flipping between being okay and being a piece of shit. It's like you give me my Bravely Default 2, but then I gotta deal with Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Oh, here's my ones with you 2 in the anime, and here's Final Fantasy 16's bitch ass showing up. And then there's been rumors of trademarks that they're gonna redo Crisis Core. You guys remember Crisis Core? Exactly. You remember Crisis Core's cutscenes. You don't remember Crisis Core.
Yeah.
Because fuck Crisis Core.
I just it makes me upset because a lot of people are blindly excited about this. Oh, Kingdom Hearts is on the PC. Fuck yeah, it's on the PC. Better frame rate modding. I'm like, yeah, but you've allowed them. You're openly enabling them to hold you out of $230.
Yeah, if you add all this shit up, because it's 50, then it becomes 110 when you add the 2.8, then it becomes 170 when you add Kingdom Hearts Kingdom Hearts 3, and then it becomes 230 when you add in Melody of Memories, and you're just like, bro, that's a lot for the Kingdom Hearts franchise. When the whole point of the 1.5 and 2.5 remixes was to fucking cut down on the amount of money you would spend as a Kingdom Hearts fan. So if you were new getting into the motherfucking series, guess what you would have to spend? $60. And now what you've turned it into is it's another $200 and something. And I'm gonna take a suggestion that our friend TSS made. It would be cheaper to buy a used PlayStation 4.
Yep.
And just buy the all-in-one pack. Frame rate be damned. Because are y'all telling me, I think these come out at the end of March. You're telling me at the end of March, you guys are gonna get on fucking line and spend fucking $60 per game minus the 1.5 and 2.5 remixes to just play the entire Kingdom Hearts series in 60 frames. And then even if you took out Melody of Memories, because it's kind of an afterthought, you still got to spend like almost 180 just for the main games. Because like Melody of Memories, you can look up cutscenes for. But like fucking the main 3 games, which is the 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, and 3 in the Remind DLC, that's I don't understand it, bro.
It's a lot, and it's like it's no justification for it. I feel like most of these games at best, I know you said most of them all for about $60. Even if you wanted to make them individual prices for selling purposes, I would have sold them each for about, with the exception of maybe 3, obviously.
3 is the only one you can kind of justifiably upcharge. This is the only one I can.
And even 3, it's been 2 years since that game's come out, so I would say about $50 for 3. But for the other 2, $25 a pop.
Yeah. And think about it.
And Melody of Memories, I say about $30, $30 to $40. Well, it's a rhythm game.
Well, here's the thing. The latest game on the 2.5, 1.5 one is what, Birth by Sleep, I think? Is that the latest one of the
Birth
original?
of the original.
Of your 1.5 and 2.5, what was the latest
Yeah,
game?
the last one would be Birth by Sleep. Correct.
And that
Yes,
was over 10 years ago, if I remember correctly.
that is also correct. Yes.
So why in the flying fuck am I still spending $50 on games that you didn't even remaster? The only thing that we're getting is something that Japan got years ago, which
And
is
melody, and going back to melody of memory, it bugs me when Kingdom Hearts sells a game that's not a traditional Kingdom Hearts game for full price. Because it's like, let's say you played Kingdom Hearts all the way up to this point minus Chain of Memories. You have no fucking clue that you're getting into a rhythm game.
yeah, pretty much. I mean,
And I'm like, Kingdom Hearts has never traditionally been a rhythm game, so they can't justify this price. It's way too experimental.
yeah, like, and I had an issue with this game when it came out at 60 on consoles.
Yeah.
This isn't even exclusive a PC thing. This is just a console issue. This game shouldn't have came out at no fucking $60.
Oh hell no! Like I get it, they adding more to the story, but even that, like, it doesn't justify the price tag because it's like I said, it's not a traditional. This isn't. You're allowing Square to basically go. We'll make Kingdom Hearts whatever we want it to be, and you'll still pay $60 for it. That's stupid.
Yeah, because I'm not really mad at it being a rhythm game. I'm mad that you're charging me $60 for a rhythm game.
Right. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, but they've charged other rhythm games for that much price. I'm like, yeah, but that's when you know you're getting a rhythm game. Like, Just Dance can be that price because if you bought the Just Dance series up to this point, you know what you're getting into. If you buy DDR, you know what you're getting into. You buy Melody of Memory, you're thinking, oh, it's a Kingdom Hearts. What if, what if a parent bought this game for their kid who plays Kingdom Hearts?
Right.
Like they have no fucking clue that what this is.
And oh, here's the kicker, Tyrone. How much is Melody of Memories on console right now? Just take a guess.
I'll check. Give me a second.
It's not $60.
How much is it?
It's 40.
Oh my god.
I feel like that should have been the launch price.
That should have been the price. Yeah, the launch price.
So let me get this straight. A game that is $40 on console that just came out, what was that, last year?
And they priced it down because they knew it flopped.
Well, also because it's a game that doesn't need to be $60. So I'm like, so why are you gonna put this bitch on? You can't even make a rhythm game more fun on, like, modding a rhythm game is you can just change the models. And technically, depending on I don't know how Epic handles mods. That's the other thing. I know if Epic is like a proponent of mods or not. But my point is like, it's $60. Why am I spending $60 fucking dollars for a rhythm game that just came out? That is also now $40. There is
if we're talking about lore, it doesn't even add that much to the story.
It's 10 minutes. It's 10
Also, Terrell, you wanna know what's also funny? It's on Nintendo Switch.
Oh, that's the other thing. That's the other
Melody of Memories is for Nintendo Switch. So that begs the question.
Actually, that makes no sense, actually. By the way, Melody Memories is the only 3 type content we have on Switch, which confuses me because if I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan, right?
No fan.
And I'm a Nintendo fan, that means I literally have the epilogue to 3. Well, actually, technically, from what I understand, Melody Memories takes place in the middle. It's kind of an epilogue to 3. I look at it as an epilogue to 3. The end of Melody of Memories is an epilogue to 3. So I have the epilogue to 3, but I don't have 3 on the console. And listen, I'm not even saying you need to put every game on there at once, but I'm saying at the very least, 1.5 and 2.5 should have been on the fucking system because you can't argue with me with graphics. The last game that came, the newest game on the 1.5 and 2.5 remix is a fucking PSP title. All that shit can run. All of that shit can run. And you put that bitch on Xbox. I think that's what irks me more than anything else. You put this shit on Xbox for a franchise that they have no idea of. And Xbox gamers also don't buy Japanese games. That's not even me being a dick. They just actively don't buy those kind of games.
Yeah. If you're an Xbox fan and you're getting into the Kingdom Hearts series, literally the only game you can play is Kingdom Hearts 3. That's it. That's all.
Well, now they've gotten,
and now they just now got the collection,
which actually was dumb as fuck in its own right. So you released 3 by itself on Xbox. So if I was a Kingdom Hearts fan, I I wouldn't also be an Xbox fan because this is the first time we're getting it. That was the first time we were getting Kingdom Hearts content on fucking Xbox, and it's just the third game. It was only the third game. I don't understand.
Kingdom Hearts made it very clear in the beginning that if you want to complete this series, and this is before the collections came out, if you want to complete this series, you slash Nintendo. That's the only possible way you're going to complete this collection.
And also own a phone. That was the other thing. And a Vita. That was the other thing. You had to own.
Oh, yeah, that's why I said PlayStation. I assume, yeah.
Yeah, I got
not a Vita, but a PSP. Yeah,
PSP. I guess, and that's part of where the frustration comes from. You gotta understand, as people who've been into, I've been into Kingdom Hearts at least since the first borderline second game, because I didn't play the first game when it first came out.
Yeah, I played 2 and then went back to 1.
I was introduced to it before 2 came out, so we went through if you were a Kingdom Hearts fan back in the day, we went through the arduous task of buying the first game on PlayStation, then buying the middle game on Game Boy Advance, then buying the second game back on PlayStation. Then we had to buy the game on we had to buy the DS games. Then we had to go and play the PSP game. And then we had to go and play the fucking mobile game or wait for the DS re-release of the mobile game. And then oh god, when's 3 coming out? 3 isn't out yet. Well, I guess we got to play the 3DS game in the meantime until the fucking 3 comes out. No, we got to play 2.8 while we wait for 3 to come out. Oh shit, 3's finally out. And then oh wait, there's DLC for 3.
Even before 3 came out, they came out with Union Cross again for mobile, but what you had to do, but this time, since it wasn't on computers, it was on mobile. You didn't get any of the cutscenes that came with it. So literally all those cutscenes from the computer version of Union Cross are on that collection that's currently out.
And some of you would say, but the 1.5 and 2.5 were released on PS3. You're right, but for one, it was released at the very end of the PS3's life cycle. So it only negates maybe the PS4 releases and maybe the 3D. No, it was just the PS4 releases because Dream Drop Distance was already out. So I'm lying. Dream Drop Distance wasn't. So it stops at Dream Drop Distance, meaning every other game on the PSP, the DS, the fucking Game Boy Advance, the PlayStation 2, all that shit we still had to go through. And then they wanted to release a motherfucking collection. And then as soon as they released the motherfucking collection, here comes Dream Drop Distance. Here comes 2.8 fragmentary patches, and here comes Union fucking Cross. Now you get 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then, by the way, 3 has DLC. And then here's the rhythm game. So part of this frustration also comes from the fact that Kingdom Hearts is a franchise that has actively fucked the consumer to actively follow the story of it, while constantly throwing different gameplay mechanics and different play styles at you. None of the side games play the same. That's the other fucking thing. None of them play like the main games. They all have 1 or 2 things about them that are different. So with all that shit piled on top of each other, and then we finally gonna put the Kingdom Hearts games on another platform, and you chose Xbox, which irked Nintendo fans just because it's like, yo, we were buying the majority of your games on side. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I almost want to look. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna look up to see what the best-selling Kingdom Hearts games. I imagine them to be the main games, but I'm curious how well the side games did. Because it irks the shit out of me that you chose the Xbox first.
The best-selling Kingdom Hearts game currently is Kingdom Hearts 3.
Well, I'm not surprised by that. That doesn't bother me. Hold on.
And that's only because of anticipation.
Well, yeah. Remember, that game was teased.
That game has been teased, I think, longer than... Shoot. That's right up there with maybe Duke Nukem.
Yeah, actually, it's probably more than that because Duke Nukem came out in the 360, and that was some shit. But at least it came out.
Yeah,
Kingdom Hearts skipped an entire.
Kingdom Hearts 3 went through about 2 generations of gaming consoles.
Yeah, like if y'all remember, if y'all remember, motherfuckers were buying PS3s just with the hope of Kingdom Hearts 3. And
they didn't even get it until PS4.
And guess what the only Kingdom Hearts game that came out on PS3 was? Oh, it was the remix collections.
The remix collections, yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like, are you joking? What's happening? What is this shit? So actually the best selling Kingdom Hearts game is 1 still.
Oh wait, what?
One's at 6.3
Well,
million,
Google lied to me.
and then you got the remixes. But then but the DS games and the GBA games sold well. 358 days over two sold almost 2 mil. So did Chain of Memories, and that's the GBA version of it. Birth by
Right.
Sleep sold the same as 358 days over two. Almost all the mainline Kingdom Hearts games have sold over a million, at least, and with the obvious giant success stories being 3, 2, and 1, which all sold 6 and 5 million respectively.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you're gonna put in all this extra effort for all these games and then have a fan base go all over the place just to get content from you, the least you could fucking do is make the bitch convenient. And why the hell it did not get convenient until until what was it, 2012, 2013? That's when the
Yeah.
fucking collections came out, and then you re-release the collections again that was the other thing that pissed me off. Remember, 1.5 and 2.5, they weren't a one and done collection. Those were two separate collections. So
It would originally was called Kingdom Hearts 1.5, and then they tacked on 1.5 and 2.5.
yeah, so like you had to buy 1.5 by itself,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had to buy 2.5 by itself on the PS3, and then now they want to make them a combo on the fucking PlayStation after you already spent all your fucking money. And you want to know when those games came out? They came out in 2013. When did the PlayStation 4 came out? A year later.
Yep.
And I don't even know when the hell did and then the 1.5 and 2.5 for PlayStation didn't come out until it was around this day of.
And 1.5 came with Kingdom Hearts 1, 358 days over two cutscenes, and it came with Rechain of Memories, right?
Yeah. And then 2 was Birth by Sleep 2, and
wait a minute, I just thought of something also. So the 1.5 plus 2.5 remix, does that come with the 358 days cutscenes?
I would assume it has to. Actually, yeah, because
it doesn't show it off on the cover.
No, the cover has oh wait, you said 358 days, didn't you?
Yeah. So I don't see Axel, Shion, and Roxas on the cover anywhere.
I guess actually that is kind of weird because that's.
I mean, I would assume that it comes with it since it has the name HD 1.5.
It probably does. They just couldn't throw. I mean, remember
they just didn't want to throw it in. But that's terrible marketing, especially if you want to introduce your PC fans to Kingdom Hearts.
But it's like, you gotta remember, that's like 6 games worth of content. Like, think about it. It's 1 Chain of Memories, then the cutscenes for 358 days over 2. Which, by the way, if you still want to play 358 days over 2, you still got to get a DS, like, as you said earlier.
Obviously, it's a physical way to play that game.
And then with 2.5, it's 2 Birth by Sleep, and then the cutscenes for Recoded. So, like, I think icon-wise, that's the only reason why it's not on there. That's just 6 games worth of content, and they couldn't fit everything on the screen, which is whatever. I'm not gonna sweat it. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed as a Kingdom Hearts fan who has to now put up with this shit if I want to play the PC version, because let's be real here, I wouldn't mind getting these games on PC, but and it's been so long, those games were never released on PC, so it's a big deal. But now I gotta go through the Epic Store, and then I gotta spend $50 for a franchise I already own. This is what makes it mad. You know who's gonna buy this the most? Kingdom Hearts fans. Guess what that means? The same people who bought the collection on PlayStation 4, after they bought the collection on PlayStation 3, after they bought the singular games on the previous 6 or 7 consoles. It's like, bro, at a certain point, can you just cut us a fucking break?
I guarantee you
that
if you are a Kingdom Hearts fan, you don't have just one copy of any Kingdom Hearts game.
No, you couldn't.
With the exception of the DS games, probably.
Hell, they were re-releasing Chain of Memories like a couple years.
I myself have 2 copies of Kingdom Hearts 3, but not because I want to. I have 2 copies of Kingdom Hearts 3 because
all in one.
Yeah, because the first one I got during launch, the second one I got during the all-in-one package, which was $30, by the way. This is so janky. That means for some reason, PC players are paying $60, which is double the price that they would pay for the all-in-one package, which includes everything plus the 3 that I just bought. It feels like Kingdom Hearts has no way of either putting everything together or making the prices justifiable. Like, I want to know who their marketing staff is.
Well, it doesn't really matter because they're still making money. That's the problem.
Oh, of course, that's the sad part. And I guarantee you, like you said, the people who are buying this PC collection are more than likely the hardcore Kingdom Hearts fans, the ones that already have the damn games.
So now I gotta rebuy the games again.
I guarantee you only a few PC users who have never played the Kingdom Hearts series finally decided to break it. I know KG made the joke. He's like, well, now I can finally play the Kingdom Hearts games. And I'm just like, bruh,
Are you
we
really
all told him you could spend less money and still play these damn games.
Yeah, when you have a franchise that's at $230, for the most part, you or 180 if you took off Melody of Memories, you could buy a used PlayStation 4 in the collection and still spend less money.
Yeah.
So why in the fucking world would you go on here Epic and it's because it's the PC version? Like, and it makes me mad. Because some of these games don't need to be this much. And it's like,
you got to use PS4 for $200 right now, 500 gigabytes, and then toss in $30 for the all-in-one collection. You're set. You literally said you spent the same amount for literally less of the hassle.
And you know the irony of it all, Tyrone? Here's the irony of it all. Two things. If it ever comes to Steam, it'll be the same shit again.
Oh, of course it will.
It'll be the same shit again. And then if it comes to Nintendo, it's the same shit.
I bet you Steam will probably do some sales here and there.
Well, yeah, but not when it launches.
Not when it launches. No, it'll be like a summer sale or a spring sale or some shit.
You'll still have to wait to get it cheaper.
You gotta wait.
But my issue, with Nintendo, it'll be the same shit. Kingdom Hearts is finally coming. The mainline games are finally coming to Nintendo. How much are the games? $60.
Nintendo fans are gonna get a hold.
Well, we always get hold on this kind of shit. I just don't like, and that's the reason why I even bring up the Nintendo fan shit. I realize at the end of the day, the Nintendo shit is a personal bias issue with me. Because at the end of the day, the issue is like, oh, if you can play the games, you can play the games. Fine. But as a Nintendo fan who literally sat there and fucking spent money on all these fucking side games and then went and bought PlayStation consoles to enjoy the main games, you think at the very, very, very least you could do is just port the main games to the system. If I got to deal with bullshit pricing, that's Kingdom Hearts in a nutshell. But
Square has always had a weird spat when it comes to Nintendo, specifically on Switch, though, because I remember the Final Fantasy debacle, where all the Final Fantasy games came out. Most of them did, except for fucking 7. I mean, not 7, except for 8.
Well, 8 was more of an issue.
8 took its sweet ass time, and then I know why the main issue was. But then by the time we finally got 8 released for the Switch,
I think it was more expensive on Switch.
Yeah, it was. It was more expensive on Switch, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
I don't understand that either. Then you've turned certain IPs and you've hold them. Octopath is, I don't know what y'all were doing with that now. That would start off as a Switch exclusive and has now ended up on PC and Stadia. And I don't know what your plans are with that now. Because I'm like, I thought it made enough money. Square was like, it made enough money. And then like you said, okay. But like I said, I flipped with them a lot. Because then you gave me a sequel to one of my favorite 3DS franchises. And it was one of the things that brought a lot of Square fans back into Square. Because Square just
with you?
No, Bravely Default. Bravely Default started on the 3DS. That game had the game that's coming out on I think it's the 25th or 26th of this month is the third. It's the third game in the franchise, but it's the first console game. And I'm like, I love that fucking franchise, but like that for a lot of people was like what Resident Evil Revelations was for Capcom, where it was like, holy shit, you at least know how to make those kind of games again. Because remember, Final Fantasy to a lot of people has been dead since like, what, 10? 10, I think?
Yeah.
10, 2? Because people don't talk about 11, people don't talk about 12.
I'm going to be honest, after 10, my mood towards Final Fantasy sort of was on again, off again. 11 didn't do that well selling itself.
And I've heard, I barely, 12.
No one talks about 12. And I played 12 and I don't talk about it.
And 13 was a travesty. The entirety of 13 was a travesty.
Yeah, 13's bad.
14 started off. 14's
a mobile game. It started off bad and got good.
Yeah, it's better now. It's a lot better now, but God, that was such a grind. 15 is mediocre as fuck, and then you see the trailer for
Yeah,
16, and you're just like, I don't want to fucking do this again, bro. Like, I just like literally you look at those mainline games, you're like, bro, I just don't want to fucking do this shit again. So like,
yeah.
you gotta remember, Square's bread and butter is Final Fantasy, and that series hasn't been consistent for like 6 mainline games at least, 5 to 6 mainline games depending on how 6 comes out as. And it's just like, what the fuck? But like, then you can do this niche shit with like Bravely Default and Octopath Traveler and even Worlds with You. Worlds with You, and it went through its own bullshit. And guess what? That's another Nomura correction, if I remember correctly.
Hmm.
Where we got the first game on DS and it was such a fucking hit. And then you didn't do anything else for it for like 5 years. And guess what
You did.
guess what the 5-year anniversary thing was? A port to cell phones. Fuck. And then you re-release it again on Switch for $60, which was fucking dumb. And I bought it because I'll admit it, I was on some weak ass shit because I was just happy you acknowledged the fucking game again. And then we all of a sudden get the announcement last year of a sequel, and I'm like, oh, thank God, on top of the anime. But like, it's so haphazard. Like, I can't even bank on that shit now because it happens at random. And the Kingdom
Yeah.
Hearts shit was even worse. Remember, people bought PS3s for the third game, and all they got were ports of the first games up until that point. And then you release the 3DS game, which means now you had to own the 3DS plus the PS3. And then you also had to own the PS4 to get the third game. And we're now done with the Xehanort saga, and we're starting a new one. And
Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in 2005, and then 14 years later we finally get 3. So you kept us on this whole thing for so long, playing these weird, obscure like games and all these other.
there were majority were prequels, with Dream Drop Distance being the only sequel, if I remember correctly.
Well, technically, Coded kind of is a sequel too,
Okay.
but it's a sequel under the biggest air quotes that I could ever make in my life.
And I get
But at that point, you kept these people going this long. Then you finally sell these collections to make up for it. But at that point, they also had the other one, which is The Story Thus Far, which is essentially the same collection, right?
Right.
And they sold that for about $60 a pop for a while.
What the fuck? I remember that, but I didn't remember what
The
happened.
Story Thus Far, it's the same damn thing. It's the same thing with different words.
And what made it all worse is when 3 came out. 3 is a disappointing game. I don't even care if you like 3.
It doesn't live up to the 14-year wait, no.
No, it's a disappointing ass game.
Yeah.
So it's like people were so bummed out by it, and then you put out the sequel bullshit with Melody and Memories talking about the Xehanort saga's over, but that doesn't mean the series is over. And we're just like, bro. And that's the reason why, if you've seen some of me and Tyrone's commentaries and on his channel, we'll tell you just to fucking play 2. Play 1 through 2, and then that's it. Which is 1, Chain of Memories, and 2.
And if you have an itch for the portable games, then maybe give Birth by Sleep and 358 a shot.
But the problem is 358 is a fucking prequel. And it's not even like, it's like a in between 1 and 2 prequel.
It's right before 2. Yeah, I think it happens towards the butt end of Chain of Memories and right before 2 happens.
And you get tired, bro. I'm just tired. I'm tired. As a Kingdom Hearts fan,
If you want to know the story, watch a video.
Yeah, I almost would say at this point it's better to just look up YouTube videos for it. So I guess and granted, in a way we've gotten off the rails, but I just it's just another fucking thing with Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts you can't just put a game out with Kingdom Hearts. It's always got to be something bullshit behind it, because it's either overpriced. It's fucking
sales at inconvenient consoles, or
like, think about it. If you were a PlayStation 2 owner, which was the most popular console during that generation, so everybody owned a PS2, you now had to double back and get a Game Boy Advance to figure out what happened between 1 and 2. And guess what? And then the irony was that once you got Game Boy Advance, it didn't even explain everything. Because if it did, we wouldn't have got the fucking 358 Days Over 2 or Birth by Sleep.
And what's extra worse is that they pulled this side shit again. Well, this was their first time doing it. Their first offense. Chain of Memories isn't a traditional Kingdom Hearts game anyway. It plays with it's the action RPG, but it plays with a card system that literally is in no other game because it's the second game in the fucking franchise.
And then they kicked you in the nuts afterwards by remaking the game for a PlayStation
Right.
2.
And then once they remade it for PlayStation 2, guess what? They're still following the card mechanic, but 2's coming out at this point, and 2 goes right back to basics. So it's like, oh, I just got card mechanics. Nope. Get ready to play back there. And then after 2 came out, I believe 358 Days didn't have the card mechanic, but obviously they did action RPG. Like they did before, and Coded has a bunch of fucking game mechanics, depending on which world you're in.
Realistically, what it really boils down to at the
core, yeah, I think in the Hercules world, you do like a turn-based thing.
And what it really boils down to, just to give the core of it all, is that we're just exhausted. It's tiring. 3 to me was the fucking straw that broke the camel's back. We were like, we can put up with all this shit as long as 3 is good. And 3 came out, and no matter who you are, 3 was a disappointment. You cannot sit there and tell me that compared to 2, in no other game, compare that bitch to 2, that it is a better game than 2. It looks better than 2. The bitch is on par with Disney films, visually.
But that's the problem. They focus so much on beauty and not substance.
Or remaking the same fucking song in the goddamn Frozen world because Let It Go so fucking man, y'all don't understand, bro. If you were a Kingdom Hearts fan who's been following this series since maybe the first or second game or Chain of Memories, you understand this. If you guys are new, do not buy the Epic Game Store version of these games, and not because we don't want to see Kingdom Hearts on PC. I would love Kingdom Hearts on PC. You know what I don't love? Spending $230 on the fucking franchise that supposedly was supposed to be making collections to make the bitch cheaper, which, by the way, you still got to buy 358 Days and Recoded to even enjoy those games, quote unquote, enjoy those games.
And I think the saddest part is that Kingdom Hearts 3 is currently on sale on the PlayStation Store for about $20.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Kingdom Hearts 3's price dropped so quickly, it was astounding. I think I mentioned it like a while back.
I don't know if this is a response to the PC versions being released.
I don't even care. Because if anything, that makes me not want to buy the PC version.
Yeah, I would say that actually hurts it.
And to be fair, I imagine the Kingdom Hearts 3, I think, is the one that needs the PC release the most. But you know what I would have done? I would have just released 3, just as a testing ground. I would have took that, and you charging $60 for it, than doing this dumb shit where you release the entire franchise, and everything's overpriced the fuck.
And we haven't even brought up the price of those. We haven't even brought up the price the DLC had when it came out. Because remember that shit?
That was $30, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then there was an extra amount. I think it was like 35 or 40 for a fucking music add-on or a concert add-on or some bullshit.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. I never played the DLC to give you guys
played the DLC, but thankfully I had a gift card, so I only paid about $5 for the DLC. But the DLC costed a disgusting amount. And here's what you got. You got extra cutscenes to the already made Kingdom Hearts 3 story. Basically, you get to see how Sora basically jumps from heart to heart. So basically, you get to play as the other characters for a very brief amount of time.
Which you should have been able to do in the main fucking game.
Which you should have been able to do in the main game. You get to do a fight against Yozora, which is what everybody kept confusing Sora as in the Toy Story world. You get that one thing that Kingdom Hearts 2 had where you get to fight against all of the Organization 13 members.
Isn't that just like a boss rush?
It's kind of, I can't remember what exactly it's called. It's like the destination door or something. Basically, it allows you to fight off against all the organization members. And that was in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. So all they really did, and then they added, I think, a hard mode, an extra hard mode to it. I think critical mode.
Yeah.
Or was critical mode added? I can't remember.
I think critical mode was added because it had hard mode, but I don't think it had critical mode.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
The game
And then
launched without critical mode, and that's what people were pissed
yeah,
off
it
about.
that was another thing. The damn game launched without critical mode. That's a Kingdom Hearts staple.
So, like I said, I apologize. This has turned into such a like Kingdom Hearts rant, but
I mean, well, yeah, but it's just like the marketing moves that Square, in combination with this series, has always been making, and I think Kingdom Hearts has always been like the ringleader of this bullshit.
yeah.
Like Square has done some janky shit with their other franchises too, but this one's always been the ringleader of the bullshit.
Yeah, like, cause if I want to be petty, I could bring up how they fucked Tomb Raider. People don't realize they have the current rights to Tomb Raider. We got the reboot series, and then the series died. We haven't seen anything since Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and I've been hearing talks of a Netflix series. I'm like, bro, get the main games right. Fuck the Netflix series, bro. Like, dead ass. And it's frustrating. And like I said, I have issues just as with my Nintendo bias with that fuckery. And then on top of the pricing, and then we're back into the same loop of you releasing a bunch of fucking side games before we get a main game, and nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. It's just you caught everybody else up to speed to the modern shit, and now they're about to go through the same thing just on new consoles.
Yeah.
The only advantage is, oh, thank God, at least the side games are multi-platform. At least Melody of Memories was on PlayStation and Switch. That's whoop de fucking do.
Yeah.
Whoop de goddamn do, man.
I'm
exhausted.
I could point out what they did with Dragon Quest. Cause I know if you want to play Dragon Quest 8, here's your option. They keep tap dancing around with Nintendo, but they never commit. Dragon Quest 8.
Oh, you're talking about the remakes on 3DS, but like there's no.
Yeah, they're on 3DS, but why not just put them on the PlayStation?
Yeah, actually, that one's a little weird to me, actually, too.
Like, why would you, out of all the things, the first Dragon Quest 8 came out on PlayStation 2, so that begs the question, if you're a PlayStation user, good, you got Dragon Quest 8, but if you kept going with PlayStation, they're going to re-release it anyway, why not re-release it on the PlayStation 4? Actually, I don't understand how the fuck it wound up on the 3DS.
And think about it. Also, Dragon Quest stopped releasing on PlayStation for a while. Like 9 is on the DS.
Yeah, 9 is strictly a DS game. It never got a re-release.
10 is a MMO, which is only
10 is an MMO, yes.
Which is only, and then but it's only on Nintendo consoles.
Now get the kicker though. Guess what 11's on?
It started out it was PlayStation 4 and then 3DS.
That's a fucking PS4.
But here's the kicker. It was on PS4 and 3DS in Japan. Then America got the PS4 release and the PSC release, which are people the original PS4 and PC releases that came out a year later. Those are considered the weaker versions. Why? Because they have less content and they don't have the orchestral music. They have like the MIDI music. Which guess what version came out and had that shit in it? Oh, the Switch release that came out in 2019. And then what did you do after that? The next year you finally put that version out on PS4 and Xbox in 2020. What is it?
How old you?
And then here's the kicker. Because you talk about the 3DS re-releases, which were for, I think it was 7 and 8 and 9.
No, 9 to this day has not gotten a re-release.
Hold on.
If you want to play 9, you have to play it on the DS.
Is it 6, 7, 8? Is that what it is?
And then I know the Switch just got Dragon Quests 1 through 3 recently.
Let's see, yeah, it's 8, 7. There was another one in 8, 7. What's the other fucking one that got re-released? Was it just 7 and 8?
I believe 7 and 8. It's just 7 and 8.
So 7 and 8 got re-released on 3DS. They got 3DS remakes.
Yeah, because 6 is on the DS. 6 got re-released on the DS.
But from what I heard, that was more Nintendo pushing that. Meaning they'd already made those games because they had to redo the scripts for them, if I remember correctly. And Square was like, that translation is going to be a bitch. So I think Nintendo published 7 and 8 on the 3DS in America.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's stupid because it's fucking Dragon Quest. That's like the IP for you guys. Right next to I think that actually sells more than Final Fantasy does in Japan.
It does.
Dragon Quest is like their Pokemon, for God's sakes. And you had to, and Nintendo had to offer to publish the fucking game just to get those re-releases out. And those motherfuckers are just stuck on the DS. Even Final Fantasy, think about it. They've released all the modern Final Fantasies from like 7 to 10, right? They re-released all those on modern consoles. What about 1 through 6? Where the hell is 1 through 6?
They're all on I want to say they're all on PC.
Yeah, but that's just PC. What about the consoles?
Yeah, they're just on PC. I don't think there's a console release of 1 through 6.
They haven't even done like a base collection for them. So the fucking all the OG games are just stuck.
They're on mobile.
Well, look,
whatever the fuck that's worth. Yeah,
man, I don't understand that shit.
Square confuses me. Like
it's super inconsistent.
Yeah, like I know we started off with Kingdom Hearts, but it's a Square problem. Like I said, it's such a Square problem.
Well, that's my issue
to do this.
That's my issue with the weirdness with the Dragon Quest series, where the first 3 games are now, and I think that's only on Switch. Is that on the other consoles?
The first 3 games are on Switch.
But are they on the PlayStation or Xbox? I've only heard about them coming out on Switch.
Just on Nintendo Switch right now. Yes.
So that means if you're a PlayStation fan who enjoyed 11, you can't even play the first 3 games.
Yeah, they're only on the Switch and the NES, the NES.
And then what is it? Dragon Quest 4? What's that on?
Dragon Quest 4 is on. I want to tell myself that.
I think that's DS.
That might be DS. Yeah, I think 4, 5, and 6 got. Yeah, 4, 5, and 6 got released on DS.
So 4, 5, and 6
got re-released on DS.
On DS. And then 7 is 7? No, 7's on DS too, isn't it?
Oh, wait. Hold on. 4 looks like it's on PlayStation as well. Yeah, it's on PlayStation. So wait, what the hell? 4 got released on the NES, the PlayStation, the DS, and then on your phone.
What? Okay, what about 5?
And then 5 got released on NES, DS, PlayStation 2, and then your phone.
And then wait, so that means they re-released 4 and 5 on the DS afterwards.
Correct.
So that means 6, 7, and 8 should all be on the PlayStation first, and then they have their DS remakes.
No, 6 was released on the Super Nintendo, the DS, and then never got a re-release at all until the phone version.
So the DS was the last console version, and then the phone one was right after that.
Well, the last console version would be the SNES, but the portable, was DS and then phone, yeah.
What? See what the and then so that was what, 5 or 6? I don't remember.
That was 6. I just said 6.
And then 7 is what?
7 would be
7. I know has its remake on 3DS, but where did
7 was on the PlayStation first, then the 3DS, then the phone.
And then we know 8 was on PlayStation,
and then 8 is on PlayStation 2, and then 3DS, and then phone.
And then 9, I think, is just on the DS, isn't it?
Only on the DS. That's the only way you're going to play 9 ever. To be fair, 9 wasn't very well received, but.
And then 10's only in Japan, and 11.
And then 10's the MMO.
11 has 2 versions, and ironically enough, the 3DS version of 11 is only in Japan. You can't. The closest you can get to playing the 3DS version is playing the S version of Dragon Quest.
Yes.
So an 11 had its 3DS PS4 release, then it had its PS4 and PC American release, then it had its Switch S release, then you had its PlayStation and Xbox S release.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Yes, that is correct.
And that's your best franchise. What is happening, bro?
That's how they do. That's what they do. Yeah. This is what they do.
It's convoluted, bro.
If you want to play Kingdom Hearts, not Kingdom Hearts, I'm sorry. If you want to play Final Fantasy 1 currently, right now, you need to have either the
phone.
You need to either have the phone, that 1 and 2 collection that I believe was on the Game Boy Advance, or you're gonna have to have the fucking or the NES. You're gonna have to have the NES, the PlayStation Portable.
What?
Yeah, it's on the PSP. I have that version actually. I have the
They
PSP's
didn't
1
put
and
it.
2
Did
collection.
they not put it on PS3?
No,
They.
it is only on PSP.
What is wrong with this shit,
So
bro?
if you want to play that, you need to have either the PSP version, the Game Boy Advance version, or the NES version. That is the only way you're playing Final Fantasies 1 and 2.
And I know Final Fantasy had that shit that Dragon Quest had, where they had to go by different names in America due to copyright restrictions. So you were already, as an American, you were already kind of confused about
And then this is weird. If you want to play Final Fantasy 3, you need to have either the NES original release, the Nintendo DS because it got re-released for the DS, the phone, the Wii U, and they just now put it on Windows Phone.
what? What?
Yeah.
Which is funny. I looked up 6. 6 is even weirder.
Yeah.
6.
Well, I know 6 is on Steam. I know that for fact.
No. Okay, so this is how it started. 6 started on the SNES, which never came out in Europe. So Europeans never played it on the SNES. PlayStation came out next on everything around 2099. Then it was re-released on the Game Boy Advance. Then it was re-released for the Wii Virtual Console. Then it came out on PlayStation Network. Then it came out on Wii U Virtual Console, but only in Japan. Then it came out on phone. Then it came out on iOS. Then it came out on Windows in 2015. Then it came out on Wii U Virtual Console again, but only in Japan. It's on the 3DS's Virtual Console, but only in Japan. And you guess what the newest place you can play Final Fantasy VI is? The Super Nintendo Classic.
Oh my god. We're just on the Switch.
No, it's not.
Oh no! I know what you mean.
I mean like the mini. The mini was that's the last thing. So the last console release was back in the PlayStation Network. So technically you can buy it off your PS3, I would assume. Oh my god, what? So the newest version is even me pulling out my Super Nintendo Classic, or having a Japanese Wii U, because then I could play it off of that. And then Windows, or I guess the PC version is actually the most accessible, all things considered.
This is about as shitty as when they released Final Fantasy X and X-2 remastered on the PlayStation 3, and then months later released it again for the PlayStation 4.
Square did that a lot. Like I said, Kingdom Hearts was the same way. Kingdom Hearts was similar, except they just
which is shitty because I wound up getting X and X-2 for the PlayStation 3, and then
I have it too. And
then I had to wind up buying it again.
I don't think I bought it again yet, but no, I'm lying. I bought it on Steam. Yeah, I bought it on Steam. So I own that game twice. Yeah, I own that game twice. No, I'm lying. I didn't buy no. So Final Fantasy is just as bad as Dragon Quest and as Kingdom Hearts. I think I'm just emotionally exhausted from the whole experience. I mean, because of course we started with Kingdom Hearts, and to be fair, in the grand scheme of things, this probably doesn't mean too much in the grand scheme of things for some of you guys. But as fans of RPGs, especially JRPGs, and Square was that company. Granted, most people would argue it's Square Soft more than it's Square Enix. Yeah. But like, it's just an exhausting experience to deal with this shit constantly. I'm
no. Yeah, especially. I mean, if you're a collector, then obviously you're punishing yourself by giving into it. But if you legit just want to play all these games for the sake of I want to explore this franchise, Square is not making it easy for you. It's not making it easy. It's not making it convenient. It's not making it optimal to engage in any of these because it's making you go through hell and a half just to even obtain all of these. And it's like, oh, well, they make collections. They make yeah, because they make what cost. Well, and that's not me being cute. Literally, at what cost?
Well, the collections also don't come out until way later. Like, let's say you wanted to play 8 again, right? On Dragon Quest, right? Mm-hmm. When did Dragon Quest release on the PlayStation?
Bro, Dragon Quest 8. I was waiting for a re-release of Dragon Quest 8 for damn near what felt like maybe 10 years. Dragon Quest 8 came out in 2004.
And the 3DS versions didn't come out until like 2006 15, 16.
The 3DS version didn't come out until. Give me a second.
I think it's 15 or 16. I don't think it's 17, but it's definitely.
I'm trying to remember when the 3DS.
It's late into the 3DS. I want to say 15 or 16. I'm almost.
Now, granted, I don't think we in America got Dragon Quest 8 the year it came out, but.
Oh, you mean the North American release?
But the Dragon Quest for the 3DS came out in like 2017.
So that's worse. That means you spent over a
So
decade.
13 years after the fact.
See, and that's my thing. And even Kingdom Hearts. Think about it. We didn't get
Only for us to be told that it was released for the 3DS and not the PlayStation. I'm like, what the fuck? Or the Switch.
Well, no. Well, the Switch had just been released. I wouldn't have expected that. I guess. But like I said, I think part of that was because Nintendo had to push that. Nintendo had to push the American release of those games anyway. Because I don't think Square wanted to do the fucking localization for it. Which is why they're published by Nintendo in America. And I'm just like, why in the world? Why? Just why, bro?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm exhausted. I'm genuinely exhausted.
Yeah.
So just to wrap things up, just to give a conclusive ending. I would not buy the re-releases of Kingdom Hearts franchise on Epic Store. Mainly for the price. I'll be real with you. It's mainly for the price. The other reason is because if it's Kingdom Hearts, just like any other IP, we're going to get a dumbass re-release like a few years later. Probably on PlayStation 5 on some bullshit. Or on Steam. Or maybe on Nintendo consoles, depending on how Square feels. Because they always seem to fucking flip back and forth. There's no reason to buy this on Epic Store right now. Not for that price. Absolutely. Like even if you're not against using Epic Store, you don't need to be spending no fucking $200 and something on the whole IP, on the whole franchise. Just get it on fucking PlayStation. Because the majority of you own one.
Mm-hmm.
If you gotta play it now.
Mm.
You got any other comments? I'm exhausted.
I don't know. They know that Square fully knows that a lot of the games that they're selling are very lengthy, story-driven RPG games. So they know people are going to want to continue these. So to make it so inconvenient and then try to clean it up but make a bigger mess economically always baffles me. And I feel like it's up to the fans to decide how they're going to take this because I'm sorry, just the way they sell these games to me is not optimal for these customers who are driven to each of these franchises. So either, I don't know, they're going to have to figure it out, or like, unfortunately, the sad part is I know that unfortunately fans are so dedicated that they might wind up doing all giving in, but the minute they start giving in is the moment that they're enabled to start doing these backhanded money moves on us. So now it's going to be a lot more inconvenient for us. And I know we're moving more towards the virtual and digital market now. But they're still going to, I bet they're still going to find a way to make that inconvenient. But that's all I really got to say is like, I wouldn't give into this PC sale. You'd be better off just saving your money and finding more optimal ways to play the series.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day I want consistency.
Yeah, that's what I want too.
I just want consistency and I want you to be like straight up about it.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, thank you Tyrone for coming.
It's always this fucking game, isn't it?
Well, it's always gonna be this fucking game.
We're gonna be back here 2 years from now going, they made Kingdom Hearts 3.7. A look beyond the faith glass.
All that being considered, Go subscribe to Tyrone's channel. That'll be in the link in the description. Thank you guys for watching. This has been your boy, the Insane Game Freak. Life's a game. Play to win. And I will catch you guys later. Peace!